Hi, Zach. I am doing some investigative reporting. I wonder if you could help me out. I am talking specifically about a bill that Congressman Wright introduced. H.R. 3732 was the amendment to help the victims of Hurricane Irma and Jose. We've been asked to look into this, and so I'm doing this on my own just to let you know. It looks like the bill was actually introduced initially in January 3rd of this year. Is this just an amendment to that original bill, or how did the congressman know back in January that there was going to be a Hurricane Irma and Jose? Well, actually, we have our YouTube channel. Mine is R. Wayne Steiger, and I've gotten like 3 different subscribers coming in. And by the way, just to let you know, this is going all over the internet. And I said, well, enough of this nonsense of speculating. Let's call the congressman and see what's the deal here. Was this just maybe a wrong date, or was this an insert to an amendment? That's what I'm calling about. Okay. 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 Great. Okay. Thank house.gov. Okay, great. Okay, thank you. Can you see why I'm calling though? I mean, it's like, you get this stuff and you want to say, well, now truly, no person could have known in January that there was going to be 2 hurricanes, right? Named Irma and Jose. And that's what I'm trying to basically get to the bottom of it. And my speculation is it was just an amendment to a bill that was initially entered into the House at the beginning of the year. It's typically how I know that most bills work. So that's why I was calling. Okay. Hey, I do appreciate it. Thank you. You too. Bye bye. All right, folks. Welcome to some investigative reporting. You just heard, and give me 1 second here. I want to get my face back up in here. All right, there we are. So, what in the world am I doing? Well, I've gotten, just like I told the congressman's aide there, a number of calls. Now, I am going to email the press secretary. It's odd that they didn't put me directly to the office. So let's just get a little bit more about what I'm talking about. Hold on 1 second here, folks. Okay, so this is whatever. Now, you just heard it. You just heard the conversation. I called there myself and introduced myself, and this is an investigative report. So here's what all the hubbub is about. And let's go right over to the House. And here it is right here, congress.gov. So let's take a look at the bill. And give me a second here. All right. So this bill became law, right? Let's get the summary of the bill. And of course, right when you're trying to get it to actually show up, to take a look at the bill. Here it is, right here. So here's where all the conspiracy is coming in at. This bill was introduced to Congress, the city of Washington. Now, I'm going to go back and look. It's interesting that it's not the District of Columbia, it's the city of Washington. Okay, on Tuesday, the 3rd day of January, that is correct, Congress was back in session, 2017. This was an amendment to the Section 1113 of the Social Security Act. So it's what I had asked the aide, that this looked like it was, in fact, an amendment. So we know this to increase this year payments for temporary assistance to United States citizens returned from foreign countries. You see, I'm scratching my head on this one. That was part of the talk that just recently came up. So they obviously know much more than this. So, short title, this act may be cited as the Emergency Aid to American Survivors of Hurricanes Irma and Jose Overseas Act. Now, granted, what? And you heard it. You heard it. I made a recording right here for you. So you can even go over here. And let's see. And you can actually see what all the requirements are. This is to pay as you go. You can just see it. Now, I'm scratching my head as well because as I looked at the history of this bill and how it was introduced all the way through, it shows that this bill was actually introduced, let's see, right here. Shows it was introduced to the House on the 11th of September, was rapidly voted, signed, and became law within 2 days. So don't ever let them tell you that they can't take action overnight. But I seriously do not know what or how this became this. Now, I have one other document to make sure that, and you can go in here, you can look at each one of these bills again. It's just the one thing you learn about the way Washington works. It can be very strange up there. Them folks don't live like the rest of you and I do. I swear it's something they put into the water. So here you go. So you tell me, what is this? Was this something that was predictive? Was this something that somehow or another this congressman got wind of? Is there, in fact, something to whether weaponizing against American citizens? So I don't know. You tell me. Is this a case of just strange amount of circumstances? I mean, come on. There's no way any human alive could have ever known hurricanes of this many would actually form. Remember, we just came out of almost 10 years of a drought of Atlantic hurricanes. 10 years. And there was nothing to show that that would have been changed this year. So how did the congressman and Congress know that these two storms, Irma and Jose, I keep hearing about Jose supposedly going to strike, New York or Washington or something. It shows no part of that. Now, I will say this, that if, and I do mean if, the sunspots that kicked our butts here about, 3 weeks ago, 2 weeks ago, about 3 weeks ago now, they're coming back around. Now, if we begin to get X-class flares, will this intensify, modify the direction of an Atlantic storm? It certainly seemed to do it last time. It did. So I told Stormy I would put this out. Now, I will let you know there's another part of this story that apparently, and I don't have this confirmed, so right now it's nothing more than hearsay until such time that we can actually get people that are on the ground. stories of FEMA agents euthanizing animals on the spot, Red Cross being found, literally throwing away thousands, tens of thousands of donated supplies. Now, that one doesn't surprise me. The Red Cross, if you just look at their books, their overhead is absolutely off the scale. But they'll tell you something different. Of course they will. But, you know, we heard the same thing back in Katrina, 2005, that Americans are very generous. And when they give to these type of organizations who really want your cash is what they want, that many times these supplies, these donated supplies, never reach the victims, just don't. Now, if someone from the Red Cross would like to correct that, but we're getting reports out of Houston, out of the area, of seeing this. So I've asked the person to go get pictures. Let's see them. Talk to the people. Get them on record, making comments. I mean, they're the ones who are really going to know more than us. I mean, I live up here in Denver. I have no way of knowing. Now, I have family down there, and I haven't heard any of those stories, but that doesn't mean anything. Houston is a big city, fourth largest in the United States. And the expanse of the geography that it covers is immense. But we'll get to that. We're going to do a follow-up on that. I think this one right here, I do intend to write the press person for Congressman, right, to see exactly what is going on. How did he know on January 3rd of this year that there were going to be storms in here? I guess they forgot about Harvey. Maybe Harvey was more influenced by the sun than what we realized, but that's just me. All right, folks, we'll talk soon. We will do a follow-up on that. Let me know what your comments are. All right, be kind to one another.